Hello everyone, welcome back to the TechArt Learning Hub. I'm Preeti Bodeti and today we'll be talking about how we can securely migrate a running EC2 instance in AWS to the GCP. In our earlier video, we have understood how we migrated this running instance from the AWS to the GCP via the public internet. But today we will securely migrate the same running instance from the AWS to the GCP by establishing a VPN tunnel, and through that we can securely migrate this instance. So here in this use case, the main prior thing that we will focus on is the replication process. Usually in the migrate for VM, we told that we have four phases: the discovery, replication, test clone, and final cutover phase. But in here, the prior thing where we will monitor is the replication phase, because in the replication phase we sync the VM configuration from one cloud to the other. So that replication process in the earlier video was done via the public internet. But today in this video we will do the same replication process, but the packets will be moved in the secured way, which is in the tunnel that we establish using the VPN setup. So now let's discuss how the migration process will work in here. So we will set up the VPC networks, the subnets, the firewall rules, the route tables, and the site-to-site VPN connections in AWS network. We will start with that setup, and later we should also create the VPC network, the subnets, the cloud router, the VPN gateway, and all that stuff in the GCP network as well. And later on we should also configure the firewall rules to allow the pings between the AWS and the GCP. And then we should also configure the BGP peering, where we could exchange routes from one cloud to the other using the route tables. So that is all we need to do. Once the VPN setup has been made, we can do the replication process. So now let's go to the AWS console and we will start creating the VPC. So I'll just create a VPC, and then in here I'm just going for the VPCs and we will just create a VPC. So I'll just say here as migrate VPC AWS. And let's give the CIDR range. I'll go with 10.0.1.0 slash, I'll go with 10.1.0.0 slash 24, and then we will go for create, and next we will go for the subnets, and then we will create subnet. We should select the VPC, which is migrate VPC AWS. I'll just create one subnet, so I would say as migrate subnet 1, and CIDR range would be okay, and then we will just create, okay, I did not mention 10.1.0.0 slash 16, sorry, 24. Okay, now we have created the subnet and the VPC. Now we will just go for the route tables, and then here we have the default route table, but I'll just do the refresh. Yeah, if you can see in AWS, when we create a VPC, we will get the route table created. So let's just edit its name and would say route table migrate. Yes, we have done this route table configuration. Let's just go into this, and in the subnet associations we will just go and edit the subnet association, and here we will associate the subnet that we created and save it. So this is the route table part, and later we need to create the internet gateway. So we'll just create internet gateway and we will say internet gateway AWS to GCP migrate, and then I'll just create internet gateway. And now here the internet gateway should interact with the internet outside, so we have to just create the route table, edit the route table settings. So we'll just go for the edit routes and then we'll add route. Here we'll click internet gateway and I think it just got created. Let's just go back again and let's go add it, internet gateway. Let's see whether we could. Let me just go to the internet gateway again. Okay, it's detached, so we have to attach it to the VPC and attach internet gateway. Now we will go to the route table, and here in the edit routes we'll just add it anywhere and internet gateway. Now we can get that and we'll hit save. Okay, now we have added the internet gateway as well in the route table. Now we will just go and create the EC2 instance. So now we will just go and then I'll just create the instance and then I'll be back because we have already done it in the earlier video. Now we will come to the GCP console. We will start creating the VPC network and the subnets and also the firewall rules. So we'll just go to the VPC networks, and in here we have the default one. We will create in a custom mode. We don't want all the subnets to be created, so we'll just create a VPC network and I'll just say migrate VPC GCP and custom mode. I'll add one subnet. For this GCP, we don't need to assign the CIDR range for the VPC network. We need to do that for the subnets. So I'll just give migrate subnet 1 and the region would be, I'll say US Central 1, and the IP range would be 10.0.0.0/24 and private Google access hybrid subnets. Okay, the migrate firewall rules, we will just create one. We'll just leave this, and I think allow SSH. Okay, we will do it later. I'll just make this global and then I'll hit create. So once the VPC is created with the subnets, we will go for the firewall rule and we will create two firewall rules. One is the ICMP, where anyone can ping the network, the instances, and also the SSH firewall rule, so that it could be pinged in the internal. We could SSH the EC2 instance internally. So let's just, yeah, it's been created. So let's go to the firewall rules and then create firewall rule. Here I would say migrate allow ICMP and the not the default one, the migrate VPC, and ingress specified to all instances in the network, and the source is 0. Did I put O? 0.0.0.0. Okay, and then Specified protocols is other, and I will give ICMP and hit create. The next create firewall rule is migrate allow SSH and ingress all instances in the network. And the sources here is we'll mention the IP ranges that where it should be within the GCP network. So I've given this. So next we will hit TCP port 22 and then hit create. So we have created allow SSH and allow ICMP firewall rules, and we have created the VPC networks. Now we need to go for the hybrid connectivity, I guess. Let's go for the VPN. Yeah. Okay, it's a network connectivity. Okay. So before moving on to the AWS, first let's create the cloud router in GCP because we need ASN. So I'll just create a cloud router and say give a name cloud router migrate AWS to GCP. Okay, and then we'll select the network as migrate, and I'll give US Central 1. And the ASN we will have in documentation regarding the ASN ranges. As of now, I'll give 65420, and then we will go and leave everything as is and just hit create. So okay, I think it will just take time. Let me refresh this. Yeah, so now let's go to the VPN and hit create VPN connection. We'll go with the HA VPN. The HA VPN gateway, when created, it will give two interfaces, and each interface will have two tunnels. So when configuring this, creating 4 tunnels would be like a huge task, because this is just for a tutorial purpose. So I will just create 2 tunnels, that is, we'll just configure for one interface. If you are doing in the real case scenario where you have to move loads of data in this migration process, then you can opt for more tunnels. So I'll just click continue, and we'll say VPN gateway migrate AWS to GCP, and the network is migrate VPC. Region would be US Central 1, and then I'll hit create. So the gateway will be created, and we will be given 2 interfaces. So if you could see here, interface 0 and interface 1. So we will start with the first interface. I'll just click copy, and next moving on, we will just go for the AWS, and we will go for, okay, I got it. So here in the VPCs, we will just so now let's go to the AWS and create the custom gateway. So here, if you could see, if you just scroll down in the left side, we will go for the customer gateways, and here we will create the customer gateway. So I'll say customer gateway migrate AWS to GCP. So here BGP ASN it's asking for the ASN that we have configured in the cloud router in GCP. So we will give it as 65420. That's what we've configured, and this is the interface IP address which I've copied. So I've just pasted it, and we'll just create customer gateway. So we can do the second customer gateway as well for the next interface, but as of now we'll just stick to this and create 2 tunnels. So then moving on, we have to create the virtual private gateway as well. So we'll create virtual gateway migrate AWS to GCP, and then we will give a custom ASN, and this is for the AWS. So I'll just give 64512, which they have given default, and here they have value must be in the range 64512 to 65534. So within this range we can mention in here, and we'll just hit create. Okay, now what we need to do is okay, I think it's still creating. We have to attach it to the VPC, so let's wait for some time. Maybe I'll hit refresh. Yeah, and if you see, it's just detached, so we have to attach it. So attach to VPC, it's migrate VPC, and attach it. So it's been attached. Now we will just go for the site-to-site VPN connections. This is here, this is where we'll create the tunnels. So I would say VPN connection AWS to the GCP, and virtual private gateway which we created, and customer gateway is which we've created, and then we will go for no CIDR ranges. We'll go with the tunnel 1 settings. So I'll hit create now. I just gave the CIDR range, so yeah, it takes some time, but if you can see here, the tunnels are down. So once we create the VPN gateway and the peering setup in the GCP side, and when we establish the connection, then the tunnels will be up and running. So now there's another thing that we have to do, which is the route tables. We need to edit the route propagation with the virtual gateway. So I'll just go here, and we have a tab route propagation, and I'm going to give edit route propagation, and here we have the virtual private gateway. We need to enable it and then save. So that is all from the AWS part. Then we'll move on to the GCP and start the process. Okay, now to set up the tunnel configuration, we just need to download the configuration first in here. So I'll just hit generic. Okay, and v2, yeah, we'll hit download. So we'll just save this download configuration, and then we'll go to the GCP setup. So now we have downloaded the configuration. We will just use those details. So here we will create the peer VPN gateway. Here we will say peer VPN gateway migrate AWS to the GCP, and we will give two interfaces. So here what we need to do is, I'll just go to the downloads. And then here I just got the file, so I'll just open this file here. Just give me a minute. Okay, I'll just minimize this so that you could see here, and also this I'll just maximize a little bit so we can see both. Okay, if you can see here, we have the two tunnel descriptions. So here the tunnel 1, and if you can see here tunnel 1, and we will also have the tunnel 2 as well. Yeah, here is the tunnel 2. So for this interface 0 IP address, we need to go for the tunnel interface configuration, if you can see here, and if you see here the outside IP address. So here we will take the virtual private gateway IP and we'll fill it in here. So I'll just copy this and I'll paste it in here, and the same way we'll go for the outside IP address for the tunnel 2. So here if you see, I'm just going to fill this IP address in this field and I'll just hit create. So now what we need to do is we need to create a pair of VPN tunnels, and then we have to have the cloud router here, and here we need to edit the details. So I'll just give tunnel 1 for the interface 1 and 1, so IKE2, and in here the pre-shared key is also in this configuration. If you just scroll up, for the tunnel 1 we finished, this is the tunnel 2, and for the tunnel 1, yeah, this is the tunnel 1, and if you can see here we have a pre-shared key right here. So we'll just copy this part and we will fill in the pre-shared key. The same we will go with the tunnel 2 configuration. So before that, okay, this is for the first one, so this is all good. I'll hit done, and now for the tunnel 2 we need to change this to here, okay, and 2, and for the pre-shared key let's go to the tunnel 2 configuration, and let's see here, this is the pre-shared key value, and let's copy this, copy it, and then paste it in here. Now hit done and just hit click create and continue. So the 2 tunnels are being created. Now we need to configure the BGP sessions where these 2 routes will keep on exchanging the packets. So if you see here, we have configured the BGP session for tunnel 1 and for the tunnel 2. So we'll go with the first one. So I'll just say BGP migrate 1. So here is the peer ASN, which is what we configured in AWS. I basically don't remember it, so let's check it out. Yeah, it's 64512. So I'll just head back here, and this is the peer ASN, and then we will move on. I'm going to edit it manually. So in the manual thing, here is cloud router BGP IPv4 address. So we'll just go for the tunnel 1. So I'm in the tunnel 1. So if you see inside IP address in the tunnel 1, so we have to fill in the customer gateway IP. So I'll just copy this and I'll paste it in here. The same way for the BGP peer IP, we will go with the, sorry, it's in the inside, so virtual private gateway IP. So I'll just copy and paste it in here. So this peering has been set. Now I'll edit for the tunnel 2. We'll go for the tunnel 2 inside IP address. We need to be very careful with these IP values and to which IP address we are filling it, because if we fill in with different values, we will really end up in confusion. So just go slow and steady. So I'm just going to copy this and I'll just, okay, well, let's give the name BGP migrate to the second config. It's 64512, and manually I'm going to paste it, and now I'll copy this and I'll hit paste here, and $254, it's right? I think it's a space in here. Yeah, so I'll hit again. Everything is fine. Save. and now save the BGP configuration. And hit OK. Something is wrong in here. I'll just click this and the tunnel 1. No incoming packets for the tunnel 2. Let's just click tunnel 2. And then the BGP is some issue is with the BGP, so we will just edit it and (64512) if I'm not wrong. Yeah, 64512 is that. And then is this for the tunnel 2? Yes, this is for the tunnel 2 and 254, 232, 34 and 33. It's all good. So let me delete again and let's try to create the tunnel 2 again. So maybe I'll hit continue, and the peer VPN gateway is the same, cloud router is the same, and then this is the interface 0 and associated peer VPN same. Name is pre-shared key is this for tunnel 2? Yeah, pre-shared VPN key is this, and yeah, now let's configure for this. I'll say BGP migrate to and 64512. Let's again copy it and paste. That would be better. And hit manually, and then here we'll go for the tunnel configuration, which is the inside. So I'll go with copy and paste, and then again copy and paste, save. Yeah, if you see it's established now. Yeah, now it's working fine. So both the tunnels are being established. Now let's move on to the AWS and check whether it's up and running. So now we are in the AWS console, and let's see whether it's up and running. So here if you see, the tunnel 1 is perfectly fine. The tunnel 2, since we've created just now again, because we've deleted and again reconfigured it, so maybe it may take some time. So let's check after some time. So I have done the discovery process, like we've added a source by authenticating using the IAM role that we created in AWS. If a few of y'all are not aware like what the process has been made, please refer to my first part of the migration process with public internet. Then you will know how clearly this discovery has been made. So as of now, we've discovered this instance. I didn't mention the name in the AWS and perform the discovery, so it has given like that, but it's fine. So we'll just select this instance and we'll move into the VM migration. I'll hit confirm. So now is the main part. I am using these instances publicly as of now for the tutorial, but if you all want in the private way, just go for it. So here we are just focusing on how the replication is being made, like we will just monitor it in logs. We'll see how the packets are transferred. Earlier it was in the public internet, but now we will see the packets transferring within the tunnel that we've established recently. So now we have moved this to the migration place, and we will just edit the target details. So I'll just hit, and we'll give the instance name as migrate instance demo. I'll click the project name. We can do the replication first, but I'm doing this. And then machine configuration would be E2. Machine type, I'll go for micro. I'll migrate VM and I'll make it on. And in the networking phase, this is the main thing. So I'm selecting the migrate VPC. Subnetwork is the migrate subnet. Ephemeral internal also ephemeral. And I'm just hitting next because this migrate network is the main key point for us for starting the replication. I'll hit save, and once it's been saved, we will just start the migration process, the replication process. So I'll start replication, and the replication process will take a lot of time, like for minimum of 10 minutes. So once the replication has been successful, we will just go for the logs and check the logs whether they've been moved within the tunnel. So if we see here, the replication has been done. This is the main part this entire use case is about. So if you can go to the logs, let's search for cloud logging. And in here we'll go for the logging, and just we will check the logs. So if you can see, the replication has been made, and if you can see here, sending packets from 35 to 42, 115, 116 to 3 to 15 and so on. So we will just I'll just click again for the console log. Okay, I'll just go with the other account, and let's go for the VPN. Okay, now here you can see the IPs, right? 35, 242, 115, 116. Yeah. So this is how we can check. We have here 35, 115, 116 and 19.204. So 19.204 is this. So it's going in the first tunnel. So it's sending packets in the first tunnel. So the packets are being transferred, and in the encrypted way, they are so secure and private, and they are going in the tunnel 1. That's how we can check the logs. Okay, and if you can see here, it's all done in tunnel 1, tunnel 2, few are in tunnel 1 and few are in tunnel 2. So if you can see, it's in 115.100, that is the second tunnel. If you see 115 and 100, and here also if you can see, we have 115 and 100. So it's going in the tunnel 2. So few packets in the tunnel 1 and few packets in the tunnel 2. The packets, that is the data syncing from the AWS cloud to the GCP, has been made securely and privately. So that's how we've come to a conclusion that the replication process is being within the VPN tunnels. Okay, so now what we need to do is the same process. Next we'll test clone it and we'll check the application validation of the server, and then we'll move into the final cutover. So let's go on to the compute, migrate to virtual machines and migrate VMs. So this replication is done. We will select this and then we will go for the test clone. I'll hit confirm. So the test clone won't take longer time, so we'll just wait here, and once this is finished we will check the instance and we will see whether it's going to get our HTML page. So let's go with the test clone. It's preparing the VM disks. It will take, I think, for 2 to 3 minutes maybe, or even less, I guess. So it's instantiating the migrated VM and it's done. So now let's go to the VM instances and see whether we could see the migrate instance demo has been done. So before that, the firewall rules won't be enabled, so let's enable it, and I'll hit edit, and there we'll go for the firewall rules, allow HTTP, and hit save. Now I'll just hit the external IP of this instance, that is the migrated instance, and we will see whether it could launch the default HTML page. I think it's not yet done. Okay, let's go back and I'll just hit this URL, and if you can see, we've got the HTML page that we've configured earlier in our AWS instance. We could see the same page in here. So the test clone has been done successfully. Now what we are going to do is the final phase of the migration, which is the cutover. So let's go to the migrate to VMs and go for migrate VMs. We'll edit the target details of this migrated instance before going on to the test clone. So I'll just edit its name. So cutover instance demo. Okay, I'll hit save, and then we will go on to the cutover. This will take a lot of time. Once this cutover is done, we will check the validation of the instance that will be created in the GCP, and we will see whether the AWS instance is running or not. If it's not running, then the final cutover has been done. So yeah, we have come to the cutover, and if you can see, the cutover stages are all done and it's been successful. So now what we are going to do is we will just go back to the VM instances, and if you can see, we have the cutover instance demo. So the same like the test clone instance, we are just going to edit for the firewall rules enablement, and we'll hit save. Once the firewall rules are updated, we will just hit the external IP and check whether it could launch the HTML page. So yeah, now we'll just hit this external URL and let's see whether we could, and if you can see, we just launched that HTML page that we created. Now moving on, we have to check whether the AWS EC2 instance is working or not. For that, let's go to the EC2 instance. I'm just going to ping this public IP, and if you can see, it hasn't launched that page. And if we just do the refresh, let's check the instance state. Okay, the filter is running, right? Yeah, if you can see the instance state, it has been stopped, so it's not serving anymore in this cloud. It's been migrated and it's working well and fine in the GCP cloud. So this is all about the migration process for an instance from cloud to cloud, and today we've discussed about how we can securely do the replication process in the GCP using the migrate for VM service. And if you found this video helpful, please do like, share and subscribe, and also hit the bell icon for more content like this. Thank you.